Which job is a lot less fun than most people expect? Video game tester. You aren't spending your time playing completed, fully realized games. You are playing the same level of a game over and over, seeing if there are bugs. I had a friend who got a job as a tester at Activision. They had him testing interactive Disney storybooks. Zookeeper. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome to be around so many amazing animals and care for them. But the smells are ridiculously, insanely foul. I have a really strong stomach, and it's still tough for me. We've had some interns quit over it. I was warned about the smells when getting into the field, but thought, oh, I volunteered at animal shelters. I know what animal stink smells like. Nope. Not even close. Demolition. Everyone wants to break shit with a sledgehammer. Everyone is tired of lifting that sledgehammer by 5 swings. Nobody wants to load the broken stuff into bags or a wheelbarrow and take it to the dumpster. I always say the more fun it is to go somewhere, the worse it is to work there, like amusement parks and arcades. Honestly, every job that lots and lots of people really want to do sucks, mostly due to supply and demand. You're gonna be treated like shit, and if you complain, you're gonna be fired because you're inherently replaceable, because there's thousands of people that would love to do your job for even less money than you are making. I'm a marine biologist. I spent the last week measuring defrosted fish heads. Lawyer, no, it isn't like they show on TV. Hey, finally case is before the judge. Crap, the other party didn't show up. Next date that judge has given is 3 months away. Baker. Coming into work at 3-4 a.m. so you can have a 6 and baked goods is miserable. Working in a music store, musical instruments. Your days are spent listening to 50 different people play 50 different riffs poorly simultaneously, as if they're all putting on their own concert. Some of my least favorites. 1. Person who thinks playing well and playing loud are the same thing. 2. Person who wants to make sure you know they are very smart, and you are very lucky to be in their presence. 3. Person who goes to absurd lengths to test out drumsticks to make sure they're pitch matched without knowing how to execute any of those techniques. Extra points if they're just going to shred them to splinters in a week anyway. 4. People who act like you're in their way because you're trying to do your job. 5. People who assume you couldn't possibly know anything about the instruments you play and sell all day long. Side note, I mostly loved my time working in a music store, and I enjoy helping people, but the people who come in with aggressive egos and nasty attitudes are insufferable. Lifeguarding. Everyone expects Baywatch, act, saving lives all the time. But it's usually just sitting there blowing your whistle, telling little shits to stop fucking around. Being a character performer at Disney. Don't get me wrong, there are some amazing perks and truly magical moments. I know I'm super lucky and tons of people would love to be in my shoes. But the day-to-day work is exhausting in ways I never thought possible. Guests are ridiculously abusive. I've had things said and done to me I never would have imagined. The company isn't always great, it highly depends on your leadership. And there's so much focus on your body and face, good and bad, that it can be incredibly depressing and difficult emotionally. Plus, you have to accept that there's very little upward mobility. Most people grow out of it, and it's rough to know that one day you'll get too old or too fat, and you will have to start all over in a new career field. So you constantly are thinking either 1. What you're going to do when you leave, 2. How you're going to keep yourself there. I personally knew it would be temporary, and I now only work there seasonally while I have a normal career. But Disney has a way of sucking you in. A long time ago, the local schools would have grad night at Disneyland. One year, a group of rowdy boys decided they would beat up Mickey Mouse. Not only were they total a-holes, but Mickey Mouse was a girl that night. The school got banned from Disney for 10 years. Paleontologist. You don't get to work with full dinosaur skeletons and do all kinds of awesome expeditions. You're mostly sitting at a desk looking at some pictures and logging stuff on your computer, maybe examining a fossil occasionally. If you're lucky, you can go on a real dig, and OMG spend hours in the hot sun dusting off rocks. Cybersecurity. Bro, the movies do us no justice. Hacking is not as fast nor is it as easy as the media makes it. It's a great field, but you spend a lot of time researching or watching paint dry, especially in the gov side. Game master at an escape room. It's the same repetitive script, resetting the same stuff, giving clues and hints about the same things. The patrons are often competitive families who argue, obnoxious, impatient 13-year-olds, college students who have been drinking, idiots who break shit and touch shit that I specifically told them not to. They never remember your initial instructions. If something gets broken during one group, you have to hurry and fix it before the next group. Being a writer. I always thought it was my absolute dream job, but the only job I could get after college was working in a content mill as a blog writer. I used to work 70-hour weeks staring at the computer in a basement of an old bank writing bullshit articles about the dangers of mold, fence cleaning, and why you need a commercial awning, and the dream turned into a nightmare. While I still write occasionally, I am now working as a communications person, so it is a bit less heavy. Bar bouncer. Hours of tension and boredom interrupted by moments of adrenaline-fueled fear for your life. Then some a-hole pukes cheap booze on your shoes. I do closed captioning. While I joke that yes, I get paid to watch TV, it's actually very tedious. And if you don't actually enjoy the programming, you're being forced to watch something you don't care for. Or worse, if it's something I do enjoy, like a long-form drama, we usually chop those up into 15-minute increments and split between everyone, so I only see chunks, and not always even in order. It actually ruins the show for me. I can imagine it's tedious. My partner corrects YouTube videos sometimes, and that takes so long. As a deaf person, I really appreciate captions, so thank you for doing what you do. Acting. All the ones we see on TV and movies are the 0.0001% of incredibly lucky and talented people who manage to thrive in a hostile and overcrowded industry. And even when you are working, the actual job itself is 99% sitting on apple crate in hot makeup waiting for some grips to move a lighting fixture. Then you say 3 lines over and over again for an hour, and then you rap. That was my experience as an extra. I waited all day for something to do and was given a role as a doorman but neglected to tell me anything else. Luckily, I thought to open the door, and it made it on screen, but that was it. Park ranger. Don't get me wrong, I loved it, but a lot of days it was less. Talk about cool animals while wearing your ranger hat, and more. The toilets are overflowing again. Go clean the septic tank filter and stir the tank with a shovel, with a little bit of, "Hey, there's a meated out guy down by the bridge, can you convince him to leave without killing anyone?" All for the low price of $26,000 a year with a college degree. Video game developer. They're notoriously overworked, especially during crunch time. The field is highly competitive too, so I imagine if you have the slightest issue with work being your entire life, it wouldn't be hard to replace you. Voice acting is also pretty brutal. Voice actors generally don't get paid very well and they're straining their throats, or whatever. Well, I'm a scientist. I don't know if people usually think of that career as fun, but I think people think it's a lot more. Eureka! And a lot less. This data has to be manually processed for 600 hours before I can analyze it. Librarian. It's not all books and being quiet. There are also spreadsheets. I'm a librarian too. I wouldn't say it's not fun, but it's definitely not what people think it is. If we sat around reading books all day, no books would be checked in or checked out, no books would be shelved, no information would be answered, no computer help, no programming would take place, etc. I love my job and am inspired by it, but it's a lot more work than people think. Flight attendant. 1. You are on call, on reserve, forever, have a terrible schedule, have no life, and make no money for 5 to 10 years. 2. While you work for peanuts, you can't afford to use your flight benefits in any substantial way. 3. Then, when you finally get a chance to use your benefits for a trip, you have to fly standby, which means you aren't guaranteed to get on the flight you want. 4. Then, if you do make it out of town, you better have like a week off so you can make damn sure you're back in your base city in time for your next work shift. 5. Did I mention there is an active U.S. legislation, Railway Labor Act, that allows airlines to exploit so you don't get paid for certain work hours that you actually need to be working? For example, FAs don't get paid for boarding, or any time the plane is at the gate. Worst job ever. Any idea why the job is so competitive? It's all about the lore. There is a misconception of glamour related to the profession. The truth is, the turnover rate is off the charts and airlines, even the good ones, are constantly hiring and training new recruits. Truth is, it's far too easy to get fired, tired, broke, and sick. Working in a flower shop. It's just like any other retail job, but people constantly tell you how fun your job must be. Also, helping grieving families choose funeral flowers is not fun. Although not necessarily bad, beekeeping. Get used to the constant sound of buzzing during hive inspections, swarm removals, plus wearing the protective suit in hot-ass weather for hours on end. Give or take the situation. Also, there appears to be a large number of beekeepers allergic to bees, so EpiPens are a must. Why on earth would someone who's allergic to bee stings go into beekeeping? That seems a not very intelligent decision. They probably weren't allergic to bees before they became keepers. Repeated stings can lead to sensitization. Basically, they become allergic. Event planner. It's hell on earth when you have a million things going on and you're waiting for everything to come together. I honestly think being a streamer and a YouTuber is a lot less fun than it seems to be, but a lot of people know that by now, still, though it doesn't seem unfun. After reading through this thread for 20 minutes, I've concluded that every job sucks. Which job is a lot less fun than most people expect? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.